That's real life.
That's
That's
real.
Wolfi
That's
360.
Wolfi. This is your home, and this
Yes.
has been your home for
22 years.
22 years.
Yes. What would you say was the most memorable ride that you've had? Riding with His Highness Sheikh Mohamed bin Zayed. That's
Ah,
Marina Circuit. Okay, if I meet some people and I say, okay, my name is Wolfi, yeah, and
Yeah.
we're selling bicycles in Dubai. I think you couldn't imagine excellence. We were trying to do the best. Yeah, everyone, and I think it's just this dynamic we
yeah,
have here.
I see it in Dubai. It's everybody wants to be number one in
Yes.
everything. Do you feel like there was specific moments in your business? Good, but do you actually have specific bike names or bike brands that are just exclusive to you?
Yes, absolutely.
Which
We have
ones?
65. We have obviously Colnago.
Yeah.
We have Cervelo. We have Factor. We
Wait,
have
how many
Scott.
did you say?
65 brands we
Oh,
represent.
wow.
Yeah. And it's important. If you do something, do it 100%.
Yeah.
I have it written on my bike. Ask
Really?
yourself if you're really giving 100%.
And what is the one thing that you're most proud of that you've accomplished?
My daughter.
Really?
Yeah.
That's very cute.
Yeah.
I'm sure if she's watching
Yes.
this, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Wolfie,
Good ride this morning.
good ride. Yeah, that was good. Thank you for having me today. This was very nice of you, and I actually like this setup. We were
Yes.
going to do it at the studio, but then I was like, probably not.
That's
Maybe
real life.
it's
That's
real.
Wolfi
It's
360.
Wolfie. This is your home, and this
Yes.
has been your home for
22 years.
22 years.
Yes.
So basically, you were probably the first person on Sheikh Zayed Road.
Yes, it ended here. I think we were at the end of the city, and now I think we're the center.
Oh my God! So
and
this
yes.
was the end.
Yes,
So from
kind of.
Dubai, this was the end of Sheikh
Yes,
Zayed Road.
there was not much more. Yeah, nothing was built. No marina, nothing. No Mall of the Emirates.
Wow.
It was really, yeah. Sheikh Zayed Road looked completely different. The service road looked different.
Yeah.
Many different, not as many lanes.
Yeah.
And we came here and had a container parked in front of the store and started to unload. And the showroom, now it's 3 showrooms, but before it was only 1 showroom.
Yeah.
Until the Wolfi sign you see here in the back.
Yeah.
This was it. Yeah. And there was a
Wow.
workshop. There was our office. Everything was in here. Next door we had a showroom
Yeah.
selling motorbikes, and that was actually really good for us because we
Yeah.
had a few customers looking for
Yeah.
motorbikes.
Wow. I mean, so why did you pick this place out of all the other places?
I mean, it was not as easy to find the showroom, and my brother, who was
Yeah.
here before us,
Okay.
he helped me to find the location, and we said, hey, we found the showroom on Sheikh Zayed Road, and I didn't really know, and we picked it over his advice, and then I sat in the plane. I didn't know the location. I just arrived on the 18th,
Yeah.
and on the 16th of August, around that, I arrived, and 18th we opened the shop.
Amazing.
And as I said, parked the container, offloaded everything, and then started to hang these wall mounts, which we have around. Built a counter in the middle, which is kind of like what we have here. And then started opening the door and waiting for the first customer to hopefully look inside
Do you remember
the
the
store.
first customer?
No, not really. No, I mean, it is. I remember some of the situations we had, customers coming in the door
Yeah.
and looking inside when they went in the motorbike shop and then they looked inside. So, guys, what are you doing? And I said, we're selling bikes. And obviously, me with my excited German accent at the time. And every customer we were happy to see
Yeah.
and get them into the door. And I think I was a master of converting every conversation I ever had. And within 3, 4, 5 minutes, I was at a bicycle. And I was, hey, we can sell a bike. Can I get you into cycling? And inviting other friends. And
Yeah.
that continued for 22 years.
Wow. But we jumped right into it. But actually, I wanted you to sort of, if you had to introduce yourself, how
Yes.
would you introduce yourself?
Okay, if I meet some people and I say, okay, my name is Wolfi. Yeah. And
Yeah.
we're selling bicycles in Dubai.
Yeah, so simple. That's it.
Yeah,
You're
I know.
saying bicycles, but it's. I mean, you're being very humble about it. It's a lot more. I think your contribution to the cycling industry here and the cycling scene here is a lot bigger than you say, and everyone knows that. Actually, there is a nickname that was given to you by His Highness Sheikh Mohamed bin Rashed, and what is it?
Bicycle man.
Bicycle Man. I actually want you to say the story.
Yes.
Because that was a very interesting story. So you were at.
Yes, we were at Madinat Jumeirah for iftar,
Yeah.
last iftar, and we were sitting in, having dinner, and His Highness came in was placed in an area, private area in the Majlis. And then once he was finished, he walked through the room and came over to our table, and I stood up and kind of walked towards him a few steps. And then he saw us and he came and he shook my hand and he said, oh, bicycle man. And then we were talking about Al Mamoun and about cycling, and he likes to cycle and he loves the area in the desert. He likes I think the calmness of the desert and exploring it either on a horse, on a bicycle. And it was a very nice moment, and obviously fantastic that you be recognized. His Highness was here in the store,
really,
and a couple of years back, and we met His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashed cycling in Yas Marina circuit. So we were lucky to be in contact with the leadership, and we were really happy that they enjoy cycling as much as we do, and that they want to bring it to the people in the UAE.
Nice. And when you first came here, what would you say was the biggest challenge that you had setting up? Because cycling now is very big in Dubai, but obviously it was not the case 22 years ago. And you have a very interesting story. Actually, I want you to stay a little bit about the story, because the way that you came here is also very dramatic.
Yes.
A little bit. So you came and you decided one-way ticket to Dubai.
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah, I almost didn't make it on the plane because I needed a return ticket, and we called in some favors.
Right. Yeah, I remember you told me that you didn't have a return ticket, so they didn't want to let you board.
Yes. And luckily, my brother knew somebody, and he knew somebody who knows somebody, and so on. And then, luckily I made it on the plane. Otherwise, the journey would have stopped there. And that was 22 years ago, coming from Switzerland, and then started the business here. My background is hospitality, so I have an apprenticeship as a chef. I have apprenticeship as a hotel fachman. This is where I started.
Oh wow!
Meaning everything about hospitality was always on my mind, the first things I learned in business, and I think that really helped us. I think we brought hospitality into a bicycle shop, and I think really for me, everyone who coming in here, I feel it's more like a guest. It's not really like a customer. We want to make sure that really the experience is like you walk into one of these amazing 5-star, 6-star, 7-star hotels we have in the UAE. This is what we want to make people feel like, and we want to make them feel special.
But what is it that got you into cycling in the first place?
It was as well fairly simple. I was in the hotel. I was working in the hotel in the guest program and guest animation and guest activation. And this was in the Black Forest. And there we started to rent bikes to our customers. And I loved it, and I thought it's nice. And I wanted to have a bit of a side hustle, because obviously the salary in an apprenticeship is next to nothing. And I thought, okay, I want to be, when I'm 18, I want to buy a car, and I needed some extra money. And so that was at the beginning the motivation. But then I really fell in love with the bike, and riding your bike in the Black Forest, and it's a nice forest area, and seeing the camaraderie, seeing all of this. And then this was always next to my work, my regular work as a chef, I was then in the military, I worked in a hospital, I worked in fitness industry, and so this was always next to the work. And then I kind of got pushed because I lost my job. I was working in a hospital, and there was kind of a change of the healthcare system in Germany, so they had to reduce some costs. And I was the one who was not married at the time. I had a good apprenticeship, and I was well educated, and had my own business. So they said, okay, we have to let you go. We can't let any one of the others go. But that was, looking back, it was one of the best things ever happened to me, because then I was pushed into becoming self-employed and opening my business full time. And that's how Wolfi's really started in Germany.
Wow. And did you, how did Gabby, your wife, react with the idea of when you told her, you know what, we're going to move to Dubai one way, and because that's a bit crazy what you did.
Yes. I sold her a bit of a different story. I said, listen, we're going to live on the ocean, we're going to live in Dubai, we're going to get the sunset, we're going to go to the beach, we're going to do this. No, but Gabby is very committed, and she loves what we're doing, and she's as committed for the business as I am. And you need the partner by your side in order to make all of this happen. It's not possible. But yes, it was very challenging, and especially I would always say the first 10 to 12 years, when the cycling scene wasn't as developed, and I think the city Dubai was at such a high speed, which it still is, but it was just difficult to keep up for us. And I needed her. She is there every day. She's 6 days a week. We saw her cycling this morning. She's really involved in the cycling scene and in Wolfi's.
And she's been working with you from day one?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Especially when we came to Dubai. Obviously, we had our daughter. She was 4 when we arrived. Now she's 26. So she was looking after our daughter, and she was looking after the team here. You know, when a woman has always a different approach to business than men have. And I was maybe more on the technical side, the finance side and all of this. And she was more looking after HR and looking that the spirit in the team is good and the customer care, having the relationship with the customers and all of the things. I think women have their strength and men have their strength. And I think that was a good combination of having a partner by your side where you can 100% trust and bounce back your ideas.
You don't think it would have been the same if she wasn't around?
No, it's not possible. I mean, first of all, I think it's difficult that your partner understands how much time. I mean, Wolfi's and Wolfi is one. It's not different. Yeah. So we are 24/7. I'm on. Yeah. It is very difficult maybe unless you understand what this means for us. Yeah. Wolfi is my name. Is everything I've done for 35 years. Yeah. It's everything I will most likely ever do because I can't do this again. I can't work another 35 years. I'm 53. Yeah. So I know this is it, and that's why my focus and my intention for this business and for what we have achieved so far and what we're going to do in the future is very clear and very pure for me.
Yeah. So basically, this is just the embodiment of your vision, of everything that you ever dreamt of basically then the legacy that you want to leave behind.
Yes.
But when did you realize that moving here was the right decision? When did it come? Because I'm sure in the beginning you were in culture shock. You were a bit like, oh man, did I make the right decision? Maybe this was a bad decision. When did you come to the realization that, you know what? No, this is actually where I want to be and this is where I want to stay. I'm sure there was that one moment.
I wish there would have been one moment. I think it's a bit of a gradual process. Yeah,
okay.
And I can't really remember. But you know, when you saw that people really picking it up, I think obviously the decision of the royal family to open the cycle track, and that more people got onto it. You know, if you do something and nobody really picks up on it, that's very difficult. I imagine it's similar when you have a mobile phone company and nobody's using mobile phones, and you know it's going to come. You believe so strongly that one day everyone will have a mobile phone.
Yeah.
And I believe one day everyone will ride a bicycle in the UE because we're really working hard towards it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you believe in it, but it's just tough. You don't have this critical mass of people really adapting to it. But then you get more people, and then I always did strive of the stories when people told me how important the riding community was we were building, and that obviously is part of it is providing people with bikes, but then at the same time this Friday morning and Sunday and Tuesday night rides, now morning rides we did. When people sometimes then left after a few years to Dubai, they said, you know what, this was amazing. This was really my place of friendship. That was my place of connectivity with other people. I had my job in the office, and you really made something special. And if you hear this and you hear it again and you hear it again, then you really start believing and you start seeing things a little different. Your framing becomes a little different. And we thought, okay, what we did in terms of community building and get people together and connect people from different backgrounds, that we have the Filipino community riding, we have the Arab people riding, we have obviously the Italians, the Germans, the Australians, everyone. And now everyone gets together and rides their bike, and we respect each other, we meet each other, we talk to each other. And I think this is really, for me, the cycling community is Dubai.
Yeah.
It's really that striving, this excellence, this performance, but then as well, all of us getting together and enjoying what has been given to us.
Yeah. Do you feel like your expectations of Dubai before coming here were matching the reality on the ground, or you kept your expectations low, so
I think nobody could have expected Dubai at 2000.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think my brother, we had conversations, and he said, listen.
Your brother's still here?
My brother's still here. I have two brothers now here. Yes. All together, we were 6 children. My oldest brother, who was an inspiration, unfortunately passed away.
Okay, sorry to hear that.
And then I have 2 brothers here with me, and I have 2 siblings back in Germany. So we are a big family, 6 of us.
Yeah.
And but when we came around 1999, 2000, and we were talking about the city of Dubai, I think you couldn't imagine what the leadership has created. I think it was completely different, and we were just growing with it. And I think if we're looking back, and you know there's always when you come then back later, that the timing was perfect. So about 2000, when you think what happened after 2002, after I arrived, no, but if you think about the story, what happened after 2000, 2001, 2002, And then the years to follow with Burj Khalifa, with Burj Al Arab, and all of these things were just kind of putting Dubai on the map in the world. And we were just there this thing was growing.
Yeah.
This city, this country was just immersing. And we were just right there at that time.
Yeah.
And
At the right place at the right time.
Yes. And I think sometimes you know that later.
Yeah.
And we put our effort in, and I think that is nice that now with since a few years we're in a partnership with Abu Dhabi and the royal family in Abu Dhabi. I think this was recognized as well, that we were here for the long run.
Yeah.
We were here to help people living here, to build them a community, to make them physically, mentally stronger, better. And I think that was always recognized by the leadership. Yeah.
And when did this the partnership with the royal family in Abu Dhabi, when did it come into place? And did it come? Was it something in the works for many years, or is it how did it formulate?
It actually happened in 2020 in January.
Ah, not too long ago.
No, not too long ago. That I got a call and from friends in Abu Dhabi, and I said, every time we sit in the Majlis with His Highness and we're talking about cycling, your name comes up. Yeah, and it's always Wolfi, and this and this. And I said, and the question was, how can we help? And that's still the mindset here.
Wow.
How can we help
Yeah.
to grow this? We see it's the right thing. This family with the team is here for 19 years. They have shown us that they're here for the country and not only to make a quick buck and then leave us. So here they're here to develop a sport. We see is growing, and then the team UE Emirates and all of these things, and it's okay. What can we do to help? And then I got that call. I think it was I sent on Wednesday or Thursday, and they said, okay, can you come to Abu Dhabi? Can you meet us? And I said, okay, let's go.
Yeah.
And then we were sitting there together and had this conversation. And then it was COVID. There was still.
Yeah.
And then we signed a deal. 2021, first 2021, and
Nice.
since then we're in a partnership, and it has been amazing to see what is possible if you have such a clear vision as a leadership.
Yeah.
And they say we want to make cycling one of the top sports in the UAE, with activations on the cycle tracks, with activations with the Sports Council, with building new cycling facilities, with opening other locations. We have in Al Khonish, we're in Elaine, we're on the Formula One track. We have a high performance center. We acquired an events company last year, Gulf Multisports, which have been super successful for 10 years. And again, the idea is, how can we help them? How can we help them making more events? Like Try Us is an amazing event, or the KU Challenge, where we are helping to facilitate these events for different other entities, for ADNOC, the Abu Dhabi Marathon, for the Sports Council, the Gran Fondo. And this is another great initiative and a great business for us. And we do the Wolfi Cycling Academy, where we have children. We go to schools, we learn children how to ride a bike.
You also even built, I think you built a new shop from scratch in Abu Dhabi.
Yes.
Yeah, nice.
On Hudaybiya Island, and it took exactly 100 days.
100 days.
100 days to build it. And I think if you're there, I think you will be quite impressed. It was rated as one of the best shops in the world, because the island itself is obviously amazing. And then we have a restaurant there, we have a Colnago Experience Center where we showcase the beauty of these Italian bikes. Then we have Wolfi's, we have a high performance center, we have a coffee shop, we have a mountain bike track, we have a road cycling track, we have a kids proficiency track, we have all of these things and lots of more things to come. A velodrome is built, a surf ranch, the biggest one in the world, is built there. So this is a great project. And we're in Elaine because we love Elaine. I think it's the green oasis of the UAE, and we want to bring more cycling because I think you enjoy the landscaping of a country much better on a bicycle. And we saw it this morning, how nice it was to enjoy a good morning ride and see so many people.
I fully agree with you. But what would you say was the most challenging part of doing this business overall, whether in Dubai or UAE, in Abu Dhabi, overall in the UAE? What would you say is the most difficult part of this business?
You know, it was at the beginning when we came, it was just simply getting people interested in the sport. Then it was growing the business. We were growing organically, so we never really had a company or a bank involved into our business because we were too small. In hindsight, it was good that maybe banks didn't lend us money at the time because Dubai was growing at such a speed and we needed smaller amounts, and I think we weren't just interesting enough. And I thought, well, is a bicycle business ever going to be successful? And so we were just kind of reinvesting, but slowing down our growth process. But again, maybe it was organic, it was healthy to get stronger within our own energy. Now, cycling market has been challenging over COVID or after COVID. I think bike industry was a bit in a difficult situation with supply chain issues and so on. but I mean, we see challenges as well, rather as obstacles and stepping stones to get better. And I think now with the support, and I think overall cycling is on the growing side of all the sports. UE is heavily investing into cycle tracks. They see that this is a sport where a lot of people can participate. Obviously, we have a bit of an issue with obesity, with diabetes, and I think sports and activation and activities like 30-30 show clearly the interest of the government to do this. So I think we are at the right place at the right time still, and it's going to go just positively in the right direction.
Nice. And in order to develop the reputation that you have now, which led to the royal family partnering up with you, what would you say was the key factor in maintaining your reputation and building a good competitive edge in the Dubai market? What was the focus on?
I think hospitality and discipline.
Okay.
I think that we really have always that customer focus that is really important, and we have some rules for our staff, and exceptional customer focus is one of them. And it really means that if somebody walks into the store, I always say this is like your house and you have a guest in your house, and we really try to help someone from the bottom of our heart to say, listen, we want to give you the best experience. We want to be your success manager when you get on a bike. We want to help you. Just like we are friends, and I give you advice. And as well, that comes with, I think, an unparalleled collection and selection of bikes and products we have created over the last 22 years that we represent 65 of the best brands in the world. And that's as well in order to say, this is really the best product. We have the best cycling clothing, we have the best bikes, we have the best saddles, we have the best helmets, we have the best shoes. We really try to get the best products to the UAE because for me, UAE is excellence. It's when people ask me, describe the UAE in one word, excellence. We're trying to do the best. Everyone. And I think it's just this dynamic we have here.
I see it in Dubai. It's everybody wants to be number one in everything.
Yes.
There is competition here is so high that if you don't do your best, you're immediately left behind.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with you. But with all of this, you said that you actually funded your business from yourself, no banks, nothing, no loan from the beginning.
Yes.
So it was completely bootstrapped all the way. Wow, that's amazing. Do you feel like there was specific moments in your business that really took this business upwards? Do you feel like there were some pivotal moments, or maybe some opportunities that came along that really changed the way for?
A pivotal moment was the crisis. That we were almost losing the battle. So we came to the point where rent prices and the whole market was in 2008, 2009. It was so unbelievably fast that as a bicycle business, we couldn't sustain it. It wasn't sustainable. And if a bicycle costs €1,000, then we can sell it for 4,000, 4,200, 300 dirhams. But we cannot make it double. But everything here became double, triple as expensive. So rent could go up, but our bike prices not. So we needed to sell more bikes and more bikes and more bikes. And I really thought, you know what, that's it, I cannot do more. And we almost lost our showroom. We couldn't sustain this anymore. And luckily there was an adjustment in the market. And I always say the crisis where maybe for many it was really a breaking point. For us it was a point where we could breathe again and we could grow. And then the cycle track. I think if I would say creating the facilities, and it was almost like the community was growing, and the cycling track in 2012 was built, and I think that created a safer environment, and that really was the point where people said, okay, and then obviously there was news about it, and people got, okay, now this is a real opportunity. I think worldwide, globally, cycling was growing, but that was really a step where we said, okay, now this is the point.
Yeah, nice. How do you see the cycling market evolving in Dubai? Now that you've been here for 22 years, I'm sure you have a vision already of where it's going to go.
A lot of players came to the market, which was really good as well. And I think there's different groups, there's different players in the market, and they're all helping us to develop the market with events, with more portfolio, with more locations where people have easy access. I think the growing facilities, I think, helps a lot. So having the beach road track, or the track at the beach, and other areas where we know that the government is planning a track on Hessa Street. Connectivity, I think, is quite an important part. And I think all these things will help. And obviously having an ease of access for people, having the Kareem bikes out there where people can try it, maybe get their first experience, all the rental stations. I think all of it is really helpful. And I see a very bright future for cycling because it's good. Yes, absolutely. It's a good sport, especially maybe you're not as sporty and maybe running is a little bit too hard and you want to see a little bit of a of the
landscape.
The landscape.
Yeah.
You want to be part of a community, and I think all of this is very nice. You saw this morning we went on the 9-kilometer Medan loop.
Yeah.
We were surrounded by hundreds of like-minded people. We had a coffee and a breakfast afterwards. We were sitting there having a coffee. It was all inclusive. Cool. You can have a shower, then you go to work. I think everything is set up for success here.
Yeah,
I think the obstacles of not doing it, all the barriers of entry are removed. Yeah?
Yes.
You don't even need a bike. You go there, rent a bike, and you try it out.
Yes.
Then you have a shower there, and you go to the office.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
The only thing you really have to get in the car and get on the bike. But everything else, you're perfectly safe. The weather is perfect. This morning was lovely. You see the sunrise.
Yes.
It's hard to beat.
It is hard to beat. But how do you keep up with the changing trends in the cycling industry? Do you have like a team that's fully focused on making sure that you stay up to that you stay up with the trends?
Yes, I think it's nice for us to have a sport or to be in a business where people can really, as the staff members, really can associate and find themselves in their passion and purpose. I think everyone is today looking for purpose. But I said, we as Wolfies, when we had our 20th anniversary, we were sitting with the team and discussing, and I said, okay, you know what, guys? I think we have the best job in the world. Yeah, we're working with children to elderly people. Yeah, we're building communities. We're making people mentally and physically more healthy. Yeah. We are environmental friendly. So we're ticking so many boxes, and I haven't found another job who does that. And I think having this purpose that we say, listen, every day we open the door, we want people to come in, and we want to make them fall in love with cycling. We want to make them feel what we felt this morning. We want to make them feel the community, the physical and mental well-being of being out there and enjoying riding a bike. It's simple. And this is really as simple as it gets. And to bring this to the team, and I'm lucky that I'm surrounded by people who really, they cycle themselves. They have seen over hundreds of iterations that when we sell a bike to someone and help them with the equipment and make sure they're really looked after, we follow up, we make sure we really take them on their journey. And after a couple of months, they come back as a different person, and we really help them to move up in life. That is, I said, always that's motivation. I say, hey, let's do this again. And let's do this with the next person who comes into the store. Let's help him again, and again, and again, and again. And it's really, we have a campaign, we say, bring a friend. Yeah. So maybe you felt like, hey, that was amazing. And then you have another friend who is not so much into sports. Hey, come on, let's go together. Let me introduce this to you. And this bring a friend, this is almost a campaign which is going through Wolfies all the time. So we want to make a friend, bring a friend, make a friend, and bring more people into the sport.
Yeah. And how do tourists factor in your customer base in regards to cycling?
I think there's more scope for us to get more tourists here. This was one of the plans we had when we were coming to bring cycling tourism here. And I think you have a good week of proper cycling tourism. You could have that. You could go Jebel Jais, Jebel Lafite, which are really some very beautiful mountains. You could go to the Formula One track. Yeah. You enjoy the cycle tracks in Abu Dhabi. You go one day to Alain, Medan, Al Qudra. So I think it's easy to have a good cycling holiday. And I always, there's one place in Europe, Mallorca, which is really commonly used for cyclists from all around the world.
I know, I went there for Ironman.
Okay.
And it was very tough.
Yeah.
Because it was a 1,800 meter upward elevation.
But I think for a lot of people, they have been to Mallorca for the last 10, 15 years. And I think if they would take the family and say, hey, we go to Dubai, we go to Abu Dhabi, and we enjoy the different landscape and the different Emirates, and having a week or 10 days of a nice early vacation. We have beautiful weather when Europe is still in winter period or springtime when it's maybe not as nice for the weather. And I think having an early preparation or a late season, end of the season riding, I think that is beautiful. So we can bring more people, especially in January, February, March, enjoying the UE tour when all the pros are here, bringing them over, making weeks. So we haven't really explored this as much.
But you feel like there's opportunity
Yes,
for it?
yes. And if people want to come and people maybe listen
Do
to
you
this,
actually get people that decided to come on their own for
yes,
cycling
yes,
tourism?
especially for the big events like the T100,
Yeah.
or we have the challenge coming to Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of Ironman and triathlon events and other things coming up. So where
Okay.
people come and travel around the world to be here in Abu Dhabi and
Yeah.
enjoy
Yeah.
enjoy the place.
And do you feel like the climate also in Dubai or UAE helps a lot, like in
Yes.
turn, because you could just
I think it's the safety, it's the
Yeah.
facilities, it's the climate, it's the hospitality, it's
Yeah.
these beautiful hotels where you not only go for cycling. I think the UAE has so much other things to offer, and I think the hotel quality. So if you're maybe at a different stage in your life and you want to have a good holiday,
Yeah.
and you want to take your family and you want to enjoy a 4 or 5-star hotel, this is the perfect place to come.
Nice. And how would you say, when you look at your business, what are some of the key things, the key differences between doing business here in Dubai as opposed to Germany, specifically in your field?
I think a lot of people come here and they maybe don't expect that they can cycle as well as they can. So they come here, we introduce them to the sport, and they get, let's say, a whole new set of equipment.
Yeah.
I think obviously it helps that people have a good income in the UAE. I think that is for sure something which is helpful. I think it is something when you come to a new place and you feel like you don't have maybe a community access as much as maybe back home. The cycling community is very welcoming because I think
Yeah.
all of us have felt how it is to come to a new country, and I think we're all active. I think it is actually an interesting mix of people who are expats, who are already naturally driven to be a bit more outgoing. And then you have the sports community on top of that. I think so the cycling expat community and maybe ingrained with the local community here is an ideal mix for people to get a new community and feel home and feel welcome.
Nice. And do you feel like the competition here maybe has harmed the business or improved the business, or a mix of both? Because now there's, if you
Yes.
go on Sheikh Zayed Road,
Yes.
there's like 1 million bike shop
Yes,
right now,
yes.
and they keep coming up.
I think
And
it
now
was-
there's another issue, another problem, which we'll get to it. But
Yes.
yeah, I wanted to get your opinion.
I like competition.
You like
Yeah,
it?
I like competition.
Really?
I mean, competition keeps us on our toes. Competition makes us better. I always said if you're the only restaurant in town,
Yeah.
you're the best and the worst.
Yeah.
So people don't really appreciate
Yeah.
what we offer. And I think the moment, first of all, thanks to our competition for making us better, and for the competition they're giving us, and for the ideas they challenge us with, and for just the diversity in the market, and I think as well to helping us to develop the market in different segments. Maybe we weren't as strong, but I think it was always good for us to say, listen, we want to be seen as the top player, and you've always seen, and I think in cycling or in other sports, if there's 2 or 3 people fighting for the win in a certain category,
Yeah.
then you get exciting and
Yeah.
you get the best outcome. Yeah?
Yeah.
I think if you're one rider and you're the best in the world and nobody can even touch you, you will never be pushed to the next level. And I clearly believe that our competition, and they did a great job. They pushed us to be better, and I'm thanking them for all of it.
That's good. But do you actually have specific bike names or bike brands that are just exclusive to you?
Yes, absolutely.
Which
we have
ones?
65. We have obviously Colnago.
Yeah.
We have Cervelo. We have Factor. We
Wait,
have
how
Scott.
many did you say?
65 brands we represent.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
65 are exclusive to you.
Yes.
Wow.
We were early. We were early. I always say the Germans like to put that towel early on the beach, so we were early to put it in the UE, and we were there to pick the best brands which we really feel. And it's interesting when people come in from Europe or from other places around the world, and they come to the bike store, and they look around and they see all the brands we represent, and they say, okay, that's an unusual collection, because it's very unusual that you would have as a car showroom that you would have Audi, Porsche, Mercedes, BMW, Volkswagen in one showroom. That doesn't exist. I think this is what we have.
These brands don't complain about this problem?
They want to deal with Wolfies.
There you go. So again, back to reputation.
And for us, it is very clear that we said we want to offer our customers the best product in each category. And this is how we explain it as well to our customers. So yes, maybe brand A or B builds a good bike, but maybe it's not the bike which suits you perfectly for your purpose, for your body shape. You know, I mean, it is when somebody comes into our store, we would take body measurements of you. We would take a bone structure measurement, and we would make sure that the bike we provide you with is matching your body. Yeah, so we have your arm length, your torso length, your inseam, And then we see with all the bikes we have on stock, what is the best matching partner for you and which really kind of gives you the best performance. And that's something as well, something different, where we're using laser-guided German technology in order to make sure that that fits perfectly.
Yeah, and when it comes to doing business specifically in this field or in Dubai in general, what would you say is the one thing that differentiates businesses from one another? I know for you, you said it's customer service and
Yes.
hospitality, but do you feel like maybe there is another business factor or business element that could differentiate other than customer service?
I think integrity.
Yeah.
And it is really important. And I think that maybe comes back as well, that my name is
Yeah.
on everything. Yeah. And that means a lot to me. And I'm
Yeah.
sure you feel about
Yes.
your name.
Yes,
yeah?
yes, of
When
course.
somebody speaks
exactly
about your
like this
podcast,
on my podcast.
this is yours.
It's mine.
Yes.
My name is on it. I'm very
Yes.
careful who I bring, who I talk to,
Yes.
what I say on them, because it's my brand. It's my personal brand. It's my representation, and I'm sure you
Yes.
feel the same.
And this is Wolfi's. This is,
Yeah.
again,
Yeah,
it's 100% me.
yeah,
And my name is associated with everything we do in here. And I take this extremely personal. Yeah? You
Yeah.
will ask my team.
Yeah.
I'm getting really intense when it comes to
Yeah.
our reputation. And I want people to feel good about what
Yeah.
we're doing. That's maybe from my childhood or whatever. It's something where I'm
Yeah.
really concerned about.
I just wonder what would you have done if you have missed that flight coming from Germany to here, and you just never made that journey? What would you have done, really? Did you ever actually think about that?
No.
Well,
No.
I'm asking you now.
Maybe the next plane. No, I'm very disciplined, and I'm as well kind of stubborn
Yeah.
when I have something in my head, you know what I mean? And what I do as well is I talk a lot about stuff.
Yeah.
When I want to do something, I speak about it.
Yeah.
And I almost make it a bit public.
Yeah.
I'm going.
But why is that?
going, to hold yourself accountable.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
That's good. Good.
The moment you listen, some people say, I don't tell anyone if I do the Ironman.
Yes.
Or I'm not going to do this, and I'm not going to tell anyone the time I'm aiming for. I'm not going to
Yeah.
say this and this. But I go a little bit different about it. I say,
Yeah.
listen, you know what? I'm going to say I'm going
It
to
is,
do it.
it's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
And then I feel a bit of pressure to myself to deliver.
Because if you don't do it, this is actually, there was a study done on that. If you don't do, when you say something in public and you say that I'm going to do it and you don't end up doing it, you get this sort of feeling of shame.
Yes.
And that can be very demotivating. So what happens is you either become more motivated to overcome this shame, or you just don't end up doing it at
Yes.
all, and then that's a bigger problem.
Yes, I think showing up is very important.
Yeah,
I think this is something
definitely.
I have seen in my life, and I think every time you show up, you will see, you create one connection in your brain, said, okay, yes, I showed up. And this is what I like about sports and cycling.
Yeah.
I mean, every time you tell yourself, yes, I can do this, and you do it, I think there's one more connection, one more brain cell
Yeah.
connects to say, yes, you can.
Yeah.
And you do it again. And even you go to the gym and you make this one extra rep and it's okay, I wanted to do it
Yeah.
and I did it. And I think that's why sport is such an important thing for our young generation to get into sports, to learn this.
From a young age.
Yes, from a young age.
Yeah.
But showing up and getting started and showing up to the ride in the morning. If I, for example, the riding group we have now since 22 years, I'm having this riding group. And I commit.
I can't believe you've been doing this for 22 years.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes,
That's
I
crazy.
worked it out actually. It's more than 1,000 times that I did that ride.
Wow.
And I did more than 100,000 kilometers on that ride. Only
So
on that one
easily
ride.
more than 10,000 hours.
Yeah,
Easily.
yes, lots.
Because they say that if you do 10,000 hours at any specific thing, you become the master of
Master.
that thing.
Yes.
It was Malcolm Gladwell in his book,
Yes.
The Outliers.
Yes.
Yeah. But if you had to give advice
Yes.
for someone starting a business here in Dubai, what would you tell them the first thing? What's the first thing that you would tell them? Sorry.
I think it's finding something finding a solution for a problem a lot of people
Yeah.
have. And here in our case, it was people wanted to exercise and they wanted maybe, or we thought they wanted to cycle. And yes, you solve that problem of having a tube prepared, having a bicycle gear
Yeah.
fixed up, having a bicycle, having the right clothes, and then creating something like this. Yeah. I think that Dubai and the UAE in general is still a good place to open a business. It has become a more challenging landscape, but I think there's always opportunities presenting itself in the ever-changing market. You have a great customer base because it's changing as well and it's growing. I think there's not many places in the world where it's so much change. so much new people coming to
Yeah.
town, so much
But
more
that's
people coming
that
to
also
town.
brings new opportunities,
Yes, new
right?
opportunities. And you have to see when different brands in different markets. And I love all these homegrown brands. We tried yesterday, my wife got, or a few days ago, she got chocolate,
Yeah.
a local brand of chocolate bars,
Yeah.
which somebody created, and it seems very successful.
Wait, did she get a fixed chocolate? Is that the one?
Choco Magic, Choco
Oh, no,
whatever.
okay, never mind. There was this viral chocolate called Fixed Chocolate that everybody's going crazy about. And then
Yes.
even His Highness, the Crown Prince, he
Okay.
put his name on it. So
Okay,
now
perfect.
it's like next level.
Going, yeah. All these coffee shops or all these
Yeah.
these other brands.
In my opinion, honestly, I think it's mainly like to make it in Dubai, you really have, like you said, to solve a problem
Yes.
for an existing issue.
Yes.
One, and two, it's quality and reputation.
Yes.
And I think they both come together. Like if you give a good quality service, whatever
Yes.
it is, and maintain a good reputation and resolve a necessary problem, or provide the necessary solution for a problem,
Yes.
then
I think it's
you can
discipline.
make it.
You know what I mean, I think doing and maintaining
Consistency.
Consistency is a key thing. And even if it's one thing you do, I love these places when they sometimes only make one burger.
Yeah.
And they just do this burger in a fantastic way.
Yeah.
And you just say, listen, I'm going to do this. You know what I mean? Go to Izu Burger.
Yeah.
And you say, listen, this is just a fantastic burger.
Yeah.
But you only get burgers there, which is
Yeah.
good. And we're only bicycles.
Yeah.
So we are focused on bikes, but we try to really do this with the highest level of passion.
Yeah.
And maintain that level of service, maintain that level of integrity. And I think that's something which is really important.
Nice. What would you say you are satisfied where you are today?
Oh,
Or give me a score out of 10. Our
Yeah.
satisfaction level. Give me a score out of 10 for satisfaction level. Personal satisfaction.
Yes, I'm very comfortable with where I am.
Okay.
But it doesn't mean I'm satisfied because I'm always feeling I could do more. Yeah. And we have in our business we have a score. We rate ourselves from 1 to 5.
Really?
And yes, we have obviously our performance management scores. And
so how would you score yourself?
I give myself a 2.8.
2.8?
Yeah.
After all of this, you still give yourself a 2.8? Come
yes.
on.
No, it is.
This is not even like, this is just barely above like 50%.
Expectations.
Yeah.
But I feel like, yes, I have more to give.
Do you feel like you're being
Yes.
too hard on yourself, maybe?
Some people would say so, but it's really, I'm not comfortable with this. You know what I mean? And I think if you leave yourself enough room to grow, then you really feel like there's so many things I want to do better.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? I think there's a lot of satisfaction out of doing better.
Yeah.
It's this achieving something more makes me happy. Yeah. But if I say I'm a 4.8 or I'm a 4.5 or I'm a 4,
it doesn't give you the drive that you
doesn't give
need.
me the drive.
Yeah.
And it's really that I tell myself, listen, don't get complacent.
Yeah.
Don't sit back. I know I've done really many good things, but at the same time, if I ask my team, if I come in every morning and I look at where we are, I look where we could be, and I have a vision, and I have the vision for excellence. This race never ends, and I think this is something which I want to keep myself on my toes. And if I give myself too much credit for what I've done, and this is in the past, this credit, to re-earn this credit is an everyday.
But at least we can give also a lot of credit for Gabby because she's been wonderful.
She is a 5.
She's a 5. So hats off to Gabby,
yes,
your wife, because she's really been very supportive. But how do you and her divide the responsibilities in the business?
She looks after a lot of things. As I said, the people connections amongst the team. She looks after all the soft goods in the store, all the clothing. So if you want to look good, speak to my wife and she will dress you up. In cycling fashion, she is very active in the female cycling scene.
Yeah.
She has been recently an ambassador for Porsche because they wanted to tell the story. They made a very nice video with her.
Nice.
And no, she's a vital part of the business. You know what I mean? And I think it's very important because as men, we see a business in a certain way and we look at it from our point of view, and in our frame. And then she looks at things completely different. And that's very important that she sees certain business decisions and other things. She challenges ideas. But we are here today because of the efforts we did together and about the challenges and everything like this. And obviously if you would come home and let's say your wife would be upset because you're coming an hour too late, or I'm working 7 days a week really. I'm on my computer a lot, and she allows me to do that. She looks after travel plans and she looks after our house, and she does a lot of things to make it easier for me that I can focus on my work. And on my development.
Yeah.
And I think that was great.
Amazing. Would you say that there have been any disadvantages of working together in the same company as a couple? Or has it all been a positive experience for you?
I think we're fairly unique that we work together so well.
Nice.
Yeah? And that is a blessing. Sometimes it's difficult because sometimes you bring things home, and obviously when the day is challenging or there's certain business decisions, sometimes it's difficult to differentiate work from home. But at the same time, as it is so much us and me with the business, that it's not really, I'm not going to work.
Yeah.
And again, this is because it's me,
Yeah.
and it's what we're doing, and it's so much personal identification in Wolfi's that it would be very difficult to separate this. Yeah? And I think we take as well so much enjoyment, and it's really interesting when we meet someone and they have never met me before, and I say, oh, hello, what's your name? And Wolfi, and then it takes a few seconds that people, Wolfi from Wolfi's? And then, no. Then people have heard, especially when they're in the sports community and so on. It's quite interesting. And that's obviously as well a proud moment for us.
Yeah, amazing. What would you say was the number one lesson that you learned from Gabby, your wife, in business? Because I'm sure you learned a lot. What's the number one thing that you learned from her? Have you ever been asked that question?
No, it's a good question. Yeah, so I need a moment to think about it.
Go ahead, take all the time you need.
Mm-hmm. The number one lesson. I think seeing things sometimes from a different perspective is very important, and you need sometimes to take time to listen to it. I mean, I sometimes need a moment to, as you just learned, that I think about stuff, and I think we need to appreciate a view from a different point, because I can only see what I can see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
And it was very helpful when sometimes, and it was challenging. Sometimes it's actually sometimes a bit painful because I'm so excited about a certain idea, and then she comes in and said, okay, but I see this different, and I'm like, can't you see what I see? Yeah. But no,
Nope.
Can you not see what I see? And then yes, and then I try to put myself in a different position. And I think seeing an issue or seeing a situation from different point of views is something very important. And I think this is what I learned from her, to see it from a different side.
Nice. And how do you guys make important decisions together? Do you have like a strategy where you get together and be like, because I'm sure you get her advice on a lot of things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sometimes it's not easy. Yeah, because obviously we're together all day long, and there's so many things to have to be decided. I think we have a bit of a differentiation. So she looks after the house. I'm supportive. She looks after a lot of other things, holiday plans, all of these things. I look after a lot of business. So we have a fairly set system of where I make decisions and she makes decisions. And when it's really more bigger decisions, we make them together. Sometimes it takes a bit of time. But I think as well we're fairly aligned with what we're doing. And so far it has worked quite well.
Okay, that's good. So it doesn't seem like you guys had any major disagreements on how you want to do the business. I mean, that's really a blessing in itself, because it's very rare to find, like you said, this sort of chemistry, especially a couple working together.
Yes.
But what do you enjoy most about working with her? What's the number one thing that gives you a lot of satisfaction by having your wife?
I just have her around. Yeah, sometimes it's nice if you have a person around in the business where you can really trust 100%, that you have this pure relationship. And sometimes just like, when go over there, just listen, I said, stand up, give me a hug, and give me just a few seconds of relief. And then, okay, this is good. And that's sometimes all it is. And having someone around, we had our daughter for a long time with us in the business now for 5 years after COVID. And that was fantastic.
And she's still working with you?
No, she's now studying in Madrid.
Okay.
Which was as well, obviously as a father, I saw the opportunity, and I'm very happy that we make this decision, that she's there now. Yeah. But obviously I miss her dearly every day, and it was so nice to have them together. And sometimes we have that family hug, and having her around, seeing her, being allowed to be part of her life as well, I think was nice. But having them around all the time and spending really 24 hours. It's interesting sometimes when we drive home in different cars, we call each other, on the way home to discuss the day, because normally Gabi's driving, and we are really together 24/7.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, it's such a nice thing to see, to have your significant other with you in the business there, enjoying the journey? Because usually, unfortunately, a lot of men and a lot of women, they sort of like this distance that they have between their, with their spouses. They like to be a little bit away, but it seems like you found a way to embrace all the time
Yes.
that you
Yes.
guys are together,
Yes.
and that's such a beautiful thing. And I wish
I'm
more
glad.
people
I'm grateful.
can. Yeah,
I'm
it
grateful
is.
for that.
It's a blessing.
Yeah.
Going back to the business, do you feel like the technology and the advancement in technology and online shopping is also changing the industry? Is it affecting a little bit how you guys doing business? Because now I know there are a few websites that are coming, especially here in the Emirates, where they are selling bicycles online. They don't have a physical shop, and they're selling it at a much lower price than the usual.
I think the journey for most of us starts online, that we look and get some experience and get to know the brands and get to know some information about the product. But I think a bicycle, with all the services we offer about the maintenance, about the fitting, about the sizing, all of this at the beginning is something very important. And I think this personal relationship we can build within the store, within a physical presence, and this bicycle, an online shop, can't offer that. And as well the selection. Normally, how would you know what bike you need? And if you buy something online, that's too much of an expense in order to take the risk, and you want somebody to look after you. And I think buying a product is really for us always the beginning of a journey. It's then really helping somebody to understand. And we almost know exactly what questions will come after 1 week, after 2 weeks, after 4 weeks, after 3 months. We know what people are going through, and then the adaptation the body will take, and then they have the first aches and pains because they're riding more. Then they need a better cycling short, they need glasses, they need a helmet, they need this and this, and they need certain equipment and certain advice along their journey, and we are here to have that. And as well, a cycling shop is as well a lot of community. I think you can buy, I don't know, if you buy milk or you buy stationery or buy something and you just buy it, you know what you need. You buy your toner cartridges for your printer. Okay, that's something you can buy online. But I think a bicycle is so much more, and it's so much more personalized that you need somebody who understands this.
Customization basically is the number one differentiating factor. What would you say is the typical customer base here in Dubai, or is it very diverse?
Very diverse. We saw at the beginning, it was the countries which were generally in cycling. It was in all European, Australian, Americans. These were the UK, very strong, that these were the first customers we had. This was the customer base. But then we got His Highness Sheikh Hamdan. He was interested in cycling. He was riding. And then we got so many more Arab-speaking customers. And now on a Sunday morning, I think I said it maybe 3-4 weeks ago when we had a ride, and I thought I was standing there looking at the group. We stopped at a petrol station, and I was looking around, and even on the ride towards the petrol station, I thought, you know what? I think we have more than 50% Arab-speaking and local riders on the ride. So this has become actually quite a growing and strong community now in the cycling scene. And now in the last couple of years, we see, in the last couple of months, we see a lot more from the Indian community coming into the sport. Filipinos have always been very, very strong, and all the Asians have been very strong. But we see the Indian community, I think, understanding the benefits of cycling more, and we see a big influx of this people or this nation to come into the sport, which is nice. And again, it brings us together that we make friends out of different communities. And I enjoy this a lot, and learning and appreciating diversity and learning how they got into the sport or what challenges they're facing. And some of them have never really been on a bicycle. I think if you grow up in Europe and in Germany, you know how to ride a bike, and you go to school and so on, but in some other places in the world, it wasn't common. So bicycle was not maybe a common use of transportation, but now they see the benefit of doing it and introducing these people to the sport and seeing how much they enjoy it and how much it changes their life is a beautiful journey.
Amazing. What would you say is the most interesting sale that you've ever done for a bicycle? First, I'm going to ask you, what's the most interesting sale? And then I'm going to ask you, what's the most expensive bike you ever sold?
Okay. We built some very nice bikes for some special people in the UAE, where we flew in special wheels, and we really put the best parts. Building bikes for obviously always for the royal family is always a bit of a challenge, because we want to do something very, very special. Interesting sales.
Like maybe someone like a VIP or like a celebrity or something that was just really out of the ordinary.
We built a nice bike for Nico Rosberg. And he was here for the Formula One. He came to the store, and it was actually really interesting to talk with Nico about the sports and about dynamics, aerodynamics, because he's into high performance a lot.
Yeah.
And it was a really, really interesting conversation. But you know what? We were lucky and blessed that we met a lot of very interesting people. And I remember somebody from the royal family from Oman coming to the store, and it was 20 years ago when he had the first Porsche Cayenne.
Yeah.
And he walked into the store and he picked one of the very beautiful mountain bikes we had, and he put it on his car, and the car was parked outside the store, and we made it ready. It's almost a bit like your car is parked now.
Yeah.
And we put it on top of the car with a car rack, and it just looked beautiful. And I thought, you know what, one day I will have maybe a car like that, and I will have this. And it was these sales, especially the beginning, where we really needed this sale to happen, to get that money, to make the business run for a few days, and sometimes really to get to the point where we could buy food for the next couple of days, where I needed money in the till.
Yeah.
These sales conversations were special, and I remember them. I had a customer from Oman. I could understand from his headgear, and he was buying as well a bike and a car rack, and we get everything ready. And I was putting his credit card to the machine, and it wasn't working. And then I tried half of the amount, and it wasn't working. And then I tried again, and I thought maybe it's something with a credit card machine at the time. This is 20 years ago, or 21 years ago. And I really thought, okay, please, I need this. Because if he leaves, I don't think he will come back. Yeah. Because I knew he was from Oman and so on. And I'm like, and then I said, okay, sir, sorry, it seems there's a problem with our line, or is there a problem with the card? And I gave him the card back, and I thought, this is it. Yeah. And kind of I had my hands on the counter, and he put his hand on my hand, and he said, listen, no worry, my dear, it's my bank. Let me call them. And I was like, oh my God, this
It's
is
his
real.
bank. The guy was the bank's owner. Oh my God.
And he called the bank, and he said, obviously I couldn't understand what he said, but I could understand the tone he was speaking to his team, and said, okay, try again. And then it worked, and I'm like, thank God.
Wow.
So
amazing. Which bank was it? I'm actually curious if you remember. 20 years ago, you're not going to remember. Okay.
I remember just the moment that I was like, yes, thank you. Thanks God.
Wow.
And it's tough. You know, I mean, if you, I don't know if people can associate to this. If you come here and you don't have a plan B, you don't have a company you're working for, you're the company you're working for. And you have put all the money into the business. You pay the showroom, you pay the school, you pay the housing, everything was paid up front, and there was nothing left. And then the expenses are coming, you have to pay Etisalat, you have to pay everything, you have to buy new stock, and it takes weeks to arrive because it is ordered from Europe, and you really need to fight, and you're really almost in a desperate state, and then somebody comes in and you're so happy. And that's why I'm so grateful still to the day when this, I always say, the door opening and you hear the road, that is like my heartbeat going. And it's true, it's still there, and I'm grateful. I said, listen guys, we can be the best shop. I said to my team, we can be the best shop in the world. If this store is not moving and people are not coming in, it's not happening. So be grateful if this store is opening and people come.
Because we all have jobs, we all have income because of this. And
people trust us and bring their hard-earned money to us, and they trust us to bring the bike. We have an obligation to deliver.
Now, what's the most expensive bike that you've ever sold?
I think it was over 100,000 dirhams, about 120,000 dirhams.
Ask this question.
Okay, now the shop is getting busy. That's good. Yes. No, it was about that, but it was special wheel, it was special paint. It was
so
special
let me just
products.
ask the question again. So what's the most expensive bike you've ever sold?
It was an excess of 100,000 dirhams.
An excess of 100,000?
Yes.
Wow.
So we have special frames, special painted frames, special wheels, hand-built. We did actually fly once to send somebody to Europe to collect the wheel set because it was a gift for someone, and we needed to build a bike, very special. So we did fly. We put somebody in a plane, send him to Munich because we had something special.
Also, it was sold
there.
for someone in Munich?
No, we picked it up in Munich and brought it back to...
Okay, are you allowed to disclose who?
No.
You're not? Okay.
Otherwise, I lose my visa.
No worries. All right. So about like events, and I know you're gonna get into events and stuff. What are the events that you are planning to sponsor or host now in the coming
I think
future?
as Gulf Multisports is already for 10 years operating, we have Trias coming up, we have the Challenge coming up,
Yeah.
we have PTO, the Triathlon coming up, we have KU Challenge. I mean, the calendar, we just looked last week at the calendar for the next 6 months.
Yeah.
And it is unbelievable. So if you're into sports and you're into cycling, into triathlon, into running, the calendar for the next 12 months or the 6 months is full,
amazing.
beyond belief. It's
Yeah.
really, really amazing. And I think thanks again to all of these events companies and all of the sponsors and all people involved. We have the Fab Cycling Festival coming up and lots of great events. Fantastic.
What would you say is the biggest misconception people have about cycling, whether cycling as a sport or cycling in Dubai? Like, what's the number one thing that, especially for people that are just new, that are
New in the sport?
yeah, new to the sport?
I think you don't need as much money as you think to get into the sport. You can get a bike between 3,000 and 4,000 dirhams to start, and you have the same level of exercise. Yeah.
Yeah.
The effort is the time and the effort you spend on the bike. This is what it is, and you can really get a good start with a bike which is not as expensive. Yeah. When you evolve, you can either trade the bike in and grow along with this, but it's not as expensive, and I think it's not as difficult to get in, and it's not as hot as you think. Yeah? I think it's easy because you have cycle tracks all around the city.
Yeah.
You have good weather. Yeah? Even so, it feels hot when you're standing and running. It's maybe hot, but on a bicycle, I think it's cooler. And the cycling community is welcoming. I think there's lots of opportunities.
Yeah.
You should try it, really. Do it.
Yeah, I know, agree. What would you say was the best decision that you've made in the business so far? The number one decision that you thought really changed everything?
I think going to the UAE is for sure something, that step, and being brave enough.
No, but after you moved to the UAE, what would you say the number one decision that you made and you're like, you know what, that was good, that was very good?
It wasn't really as much a decision as a natural evolvement into it. When we're building this community, I think the rides we created, that was something important, and then obviously the partnership with the royal family in Abu Dhabi. I think that was a good step. And this is really moments where you said, okay, I'm going to do this, and I'm be blessed that I've been chosen to be a partner. I think first of all, this is I think it's something special. I always feel like it's a bit like in UK, you've been knighted, that somebody chose you to be a partner of the royal family, and that you be picked out to be a partner with them. I think that is something very special, and I'm really grateful for that they chose us to be their partner. Yeah. Because they could have had anyone, they could have done this themselves, but to say, yes, we've seen you, and recognition for 20 years of
hard work, came
to this. And then the level of partnership and the level of honesty and pureness, where they say, we want to help you to grow this for the people of the UAE, and we want to make this. It's not about the business. It's not about making money.
That's creating
that's
a culture,
not interesting.
basically.
Creating a culture, creating a healthier and happier community in the UAE. This clear vision was something I could really associate really well. Yeah. Because that was my vision as well.
It was in line.
Especially in the last couple of years, where obviously we got more financially independent. This vision and the purpose and the legacy we want to leave behind as a business, or me personally in Gabi and my family, I think that's something really important. This is now a driving force, way more than there were other driving forces when I was in my 30s. But now it has changed. Now in my 50s, I want to leave a legacy. I want to have the cycling academy. I want to do the events. I want to have more people on bikes, and I want to be one day. I want to that people say, hey, there was this one family, there was this one guy who really had this idea to bring cycling to the UAE, and it really changed what is happening now.
And have you expanded now outside of Dubai? Like, how many cities are you operating
We're in Al-Ain. We are close to Sharjah, in Al Khornish.
Yeah.
We are on the Formula One track. We have altogether 12
What about
business
countries?
Units. Countries only, we're focusing at the moment in the UAE with our Wolfi's retail side of business, but we have our Wolfi's sport trading business where we're supplying all the countries, the neighboring countries like Jordan, Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Qatar, Oman, Afghanistan, other places around the world, where we are trying to help other smaller satellite shops to help to grow with the business, and they can buy from us. They can buy from the portfolio of 65 plus brands. They can buy a few spokes, a few chains, a few cassettes, whatever, a few helmets and shoes, and they can start their community there and do some good work. What we did here 20 years ago, they can do this in Jordan and grow the community, and do it in Saudi Arabia, and grow the community overall.
Amazing. What would you say was the toughest decision that you made in your business? The decision that you thought was really hard to make?
As well, going to the UAE. You know, this is obviously then in hindsight, it is something which is now it worked out really well. But going out of your comfort zone, leaving a well-working business behind, leaving my family, my mom, my dad, Gabi's mom, Gabi's dad, Gabi's family, brothers, sisters, leaving them behind. Putting everything you have in all your eggs in one basket, and say, okay, this is going to be the UAE. Being under that pressure to have to deliver, because there's no plan B. I had everything I had was in here. And I didn't want to go back. I communicated it. I put myself under pressure, said, listen, I'm going to deliver. And this pressure was high. It luckily turned out in such a positive way, but it could have not worked. And I think for a lot of people, that's really making the decision to say yes, full everything, 100%. And that's important. If you do something, do it 100%. I have it written on my bike. Ask yourself if you're really giving 100%.
I'll actually take a look at it. I didn't notice it this morning.
It was on a different bike. I have a different bike, so not on the Colnago, because there was a Tour de France edition from the team. But I have one of my bikes that says, okay, ask yourself, are you really giving 100%?
Yeah. What is the best piece of advice you ever received from anyone?
I love podcasts, you know, and I love that's why I'm so keen as well to share my story. And there's so many good messages, and I think I always love it when somebody can put a frame and a view on something, and I look from it from a different point of view, and somebody puts it as well in words, what I feel, and I think that's always great. And people say that you need the discipline to show up, and you need to. I love one, and it's not really a quote, but I had recently from Chris Willems from Modern Wisdom. He said, "Doing the thing" was his statement, and it's not about talking about doing the thing. It's not about writing down the thing. It's not about planning to do the thing. It's not putting the thing in the calendar as doing the thing. It's really at the end, it's doing the thing and really executing it and really doing. It's not about talking about going cycling. It's not about doing or the planning and this and this and this. It's really actually doing the thing. And I think that's good advice I've been given, and I live by. I said, listen, show up, be disciplined,
be there,
and do the thing.
What would Wolfi tell his 20-year-old self?
All's going to be good. You're a good guy. All will turn out well. Just believe in yourself and work hard. Do the thing, and even if it feels tough sometimes, just believe it's good, and it makes you. If I would look back, everything in my life which has felt at the moment really, really tough was a clear way and a clear opportunity to improve. And now I would say with challenges coming my way, I really try to embrace them and say, okay, good, bring it on.
Yeah, amazing. What's the legacy that you want to leave behind? If you want people to remember you, what do you want to be remembered as, and what legacy do you want to leave behind?
I think to be the guy who brought cycling to this part of the world, helped to connect people on the bike and create a healthier and happier nation. I think that's nice, and I'm really grateful that the UAE as a country is embracing this, or that I can be part of this story where they really believe that cycling is a part, and I can contribute to that. And hopefully with the Cycling Academy, I think the Cycling Academy and events business, and combining all of this together with the opportunities I've been given, and getting these companies under our wings and say, hey, we take you together, we can take this further and get more children. You know, in the moment when kids start to learn how to ride a bike and feel this independence and feel this moment, it's a fantastic moment, And then hopefully create this nation of having more children and more young people on bikes. I think in the future, and maybe this is while I'm gone. This will still live on if we start this now and create everything.
That's amazing. And what is the one thing that you're most proud of that you've accomplished?
My daughter.
Really?
Yeah.
That's very cute.
Yeah.
I'm sure if she's watching this, she'll be
yeah. Yeah.
That's great. That's great. That's really good. I know you got a little bit emotional with that.
Yes.
That's very nice. It's very good. But I mean, because obviously we leave everything for our children, right? Yes. So And I understand how emotional it makes you, because even me, when people ask me, why do you do this podcast? And I'm like, I want my son, when he watches and he sees his dad on TV, be like, yes, I'm proud of what this man is doing, and I'm proud of who he is as a man. And I'm sure she's looking at you and be like, yes, I'm very proud of my father and what he's done.
Thank you. No, I think, listen, this is a pure motivation you have. I think as a man or as a human being, I think being recognized for what you do and have your level of integrity and having your name attached to something which is so important, and that your family and the people around you, and I strive a lot of this, you know, when I see these moments and I have this where people look at what we have achieved as a team, as a family, this is for sure a moment where I take a lot of energy from. And obviously my daughter is something special. You know, when we had the pleasure of, a few days ago, we had 2 babies, 2 newborns in our arms, and seeing this wonder and seeing this young generation growing up, and I think it's just fantastic of seeing that in front of you. What a fantastic
it is because at the end of the day, you're not going to take anything to the grave, right? Like you said, it's the legacy that you leave behind. It's the people that how you impact their life. It's the people that you motivate, and obviously our children, what we leave for them, and that's their duty and their responsibility to carry on the legacy that we worked very hard to create. So I'm very happy for you, and I'm sure she's also very proud. But if you had to give one message for specifically entrepreneurial couples, because you guys have a great relationship, you and Gabby, what's a piece of advice that you would give them so that they can really be successful at doing business together?
I think it's interesting when you come to that point where you look after your partner more than you look after yourself. And your partner looks after you more than they look after themselves. And it's kind of, because giving is, I take a lot of enjoyment out of giving. Maybe sometimes less than receiving. But then if you're giving more to your partner and give more attention and you listen and you work together and you provide them with something and they do the same for you, and both of you then at the end winning and having even more. It's almost like sharing food. You have your own plate, or you share it with someone, and you have the double enjoyment of things, and you share this, and you share your wins. You keep talking. You need to make sure that you look after each other, and make sure you stay together. I think you make sure you're connected. I think that's something really important. Not that you take you with, and it's a relationship. It's like a business. It takes maintenance. Maintenance is maybe not the most popular word in our society. It's always growth, it's always this, and doing new and doing different. But I think maintaining something and working on it to maintain a business, a relationship, I think this is where the hard work maybe kicks in. But I think if you're willing you're willing to do the work and the maintaining work, I think this is what makes it better.
What's next for Wolfies? What's the next big thing that's going to happen?
I think we're trying again. It's maybe a point of maintenance again. We're in a maintaining phase. We're trying to maintain and stabilize the business. We have grown so much, and now we need to make sure that everything gets up to the standard we want to achieve. We're growing the cycling facilities in the UAE with the help of the government. We're trying new things, but I think getting all of the businesses up a few percent and getting all the team really engaged and involved. We haven't made any plans to go outside the UAE. I think that's maybe for the next generation who's coming into the business. And then, I want to, for me personally, maybe travel the world. Maybe, I don't want to say work less, but work a little bit differently and help maybe young companies to come up and share my wisdom with my team. And really see being a mentor and being a leader to even make a little bit of space. If I'm on top of it, I think it's difficult. And if I kind of block the next generation, and I want to learn from the next generation to see where they want to take the business, and I want to be a bit on the side and helping them and mentoring them and see them grow and take my ideas, but take them with their own ideas and take them to the next level. That is maybe my idea for the next couple of years.
Before we end this, if you had to give one message to Gabby, what would you tell her right now?
Thank you for the last 30 plus years, and I love you, and I couldn't have done it without you.
Amazing. Amazing. My man.
Thank you.
That was good. That was very good. All right. So
That's
you were
good.
telling me how this is your therapy, right?
Yes. No, it's the best way to start the day, in my opinion. Yeah, you have to maybe go to bed early and regulate your to bed time when you want to wake up. But then you have a nice, beautiful sunrise like this. The weather in the morning is cooler because the desert and the sand cools down quite a bit. So even if it's in the summer, it's kind of nice to go early morning. And then you have so many people, and it's inspiring when you have so many groups riding, and it's hundreds, if not thousands of people every day. Al Qudra, here in Meydan, on the beach road. There's some really beautiful tracks which you can use. And time for me either to listen to a podcast, to be inspired.
Yeah.
Especially here it's safe when I'm riding on my own, not being part of a group. Or when I'm part of a group, then meeting other people, exercising, thinking about stuff, sometimes not thinking about stuff. It's good as well. You have time
off.
where you just do, and obviously you have to concentrate on cycling. You push your body for an hour or two or more, depends on your fitness. But then obviously that's the mental side, but then the physical side of being physically in a good shape and being able to push yourself and learn. And in cycling it's tough because you can always do one more rotation, so this sense of never giving up and never it's always one more rep. And this is like in life, it's always a moment where you maybe feel, hey, it's tough, but then you think, okay, come on, one more rep, one more day to show up. And I think that's what you learn in sport. That's why I think sport is so important for the young generation, to be organized and to show up. And how beautiful is this? We have two young riders here ahead of us.
I mean, there's something really special about waking up early in the morning.
Yes.
And it sort of sets the tone for the rest of the day because, like you said, when you wake up so early, and cyclists do this the most, and you finish, you get the workout done.
Yes.
You cycle with your friends or you do whatever it is. You have like the hardest part of the day out of the way, first of all. Second of all, like you said, you have that mental clarity to think about whatever you want, to do whatever you want, to sort of no distractions, no phones. Well, I mean, there are phones, but like there's no one messaging you or emailing you or calling you.
At that time of the day, normally all the others are asleep. And I think it's not, almost not culturally acceptable that somebody sends you a message at 4, 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. They think, which is really good, that you can really relax. And I felt I have more control over my day. If I want to meet someone at 5 or 6 o'clock in the evening for training, and then I have a meeting which extends a little longer, or a customer or anything, and I feel like, okay, I'm pushed for time, then it's difficult. But in the morning, normally if I need 1 extra hour, I just wake up an hour early and then I fix it like that.
Yeah, exactly. I notice whenever I wake up early in the morning and I finish my workout, it makes the whole world of a difference in terms of mood, in terms of everything.
Morning. Morning. Morning, guys.
Good morning.
Morning. Morning.
That's nice.
It's good, isn't it? Yes, very good.
So this guy brought his 2 sons?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, how cool is this, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
And I think most people haven't seen it, and they haven't seen this side of Dubai, which I think they're really missing out.
But the thing is, like, with cycling, it could also get a bit extreme, right? Because, I mean, now we're on the flat road.
Yeah.
But you could also, like, especially in the UAE, you have that opportunity to really step it up and go to the mountains.
Jebel Jais, Jebel
Jais. That's crazy, man. How many meters?
1,100 meters and about 1,500 meters of elevation. But you know, man, I think that's almost a different kind of riding, because this is really you against the mountain and that battle of trying to get to the top as fast as you can.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah, it's a good metaphor for life. You know, man,
Yeah.
this is really, you have a challenge, you set out, and then you, for 2 or 3 hours, you really dig in and you really find yourself, and you have a lot of interesting conversations with yourself.
that's true.
And even, I tell you, on this loop, I negotiate. Sometimes we have every Wednesday, we have our group ride.
Yeah,
And normally I do a couple of kilometers in the front, and then normally I try to finish the first loop
yeah,
at a certain speed, and then when you're sometimes a bit tired, you start negotiating, or I start negotiating in my head to say, maybe do a half a lap. Half a lap is enough today. And then the other half of my brain says, no, you should stick to 1 lap.
Yeah.
And said, yeah, but half a lap would be still okay. And then say, okay, then let's get to half a lap. And then we talk about it again. And then I get to half a lap, and then say, okay, hey, you did half a lap. Might as well go to the next corner
yeah,
and then see how you feel. And then I negotiate again. I go to the next corner, hopefully feel a little bit better. And then mostly I make it. I make it to the full lap.
yeah,
But it's interesting how much is going on in my head.
yeah,
Sometimes when you pushed, but then
Yeah.
every time you do that, you create that connection in your brain that
yeah,
you were challenged
yeah.
and you did it. You were challenged and you did it. Does it work always? Maybe not. Sometimes in the
I
gym.
was gonna let you finish, so I can tell you actually something very interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna tell you something very interesting to sort of support what you were saying
Yeah.
just now, is that Andrew Huberman
Yes.
actually said that there is a part of your brain, I think it was called the
Morning, guys. Morning.
I forgot
Morning.
AML or I forgot what it was called exactly,
Yeah.
but I said it on my podcast earlier before, and
Yes.
basically this component of your brain
Yes.
grows when you suffer a little bit,
Yes.
and when you, let's say, go into like hard exercises, whether it's physical or
Yes.
mental. So
Yes.
this part of the brain, because it grows when you suffer, actually directly correlates to your willpower.
Yeah.
So that means whenever you go through things that strain you mentally or physically
Yes.
for a little bit,
Yes.
increases your willpower,
Yes.
because that helps you basically do other things that are hard, that require
Morning.
commitment, that require action, etc. And it's funny because that part of the brain is also very small with obese people. So you'll notice that their willpower is a lot less.
Yeah.
And he actually said that's the scientific
Morning.
reasoning behind it.
Yes. No, absolutely. And I would confirm this all the time. I think you learn this so well in sports. And I like the gym, for example. I think the gym is interesting because you never really win in the gym. There's always
Yeah,
one more rep you could have done.
yeah,
There's always one more weight stack you could
Yeah.
add. So you constantly pushing yourself to a level of failure.
yes,
And yeah, next time you go again, and hopefully you learned and you adapted. And this learning process for your body of getting stronger always comes with a sort of overload. You're never going to be the same when you train the same. So you need to push. And as you see here with the people cycling, there is so many. I think you get pushed from the group. So maybe another rule is
yeah,
surround yourself with like-minded people. Surround yourself with inspiring people.
yeah,
And if you're here on the track, you see now how many people are overtaking,
yeah,
and you just work with them for some time, and hopefully you can. Or yeah, you try harder next time, and you will move up in the ranks to the faster groups.
yeah, exactly. And I mean, there is something specific and very special about human beings being in communities, right? You always thrive and you always perform better when you are with a herd or with a community or with a group of people, because I think humans are just made to be in tribes by default.
Yes.
And once you find your tribe, you are a lot more likely to perform better in comparison to others that, like to do things on their own.
I'm glad I found my tribe. I like these. I'm glad I found my tribe.
Yeah, exactly.
That,
And you found it and your tribe has been with you for a very long time.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
the number one member of your tribe is your wife, obviously.
Yes. No, it's good. You know, man, this is good. It's a good place. It's a happy place. It's a pure place for people to be in. If you find a group and you feel a part of it, and I think the cycling community or the sports community is good, and especially I think here in the UAE where people, most of us are here new, they're expats and they know how it feels when you come to a new place. So everybody is quite welcoming and open to welcome new people into a group. And places like this, what the government has created, where you just easily go and have a meeting, meet others, and just go riding with them.
Yeah.
I mean, morning. Morning. Morning.
I mean, just a question on the side. Does like every single person on the track like know you?
Yes.
It's like every single person that passes by is like, good morning, Wolfi, good morning.
No, I
good morning."
invited him. I invited all of them. Said, listen, tomorrow we're filming with Mohammed. I'm gonna have a good podcast, and I want that you all show up. And when you pass me, you call my name.
Yeah.
No, you know, I mean, this is a beautiful thing about what we have been able to do in the last 22 years.
Yeah.
That people really know me. Normally, I'm here on the track more or less 6-7 days a week. So you get to know each other, and you get to know each other, different people. Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
I would not hang around only, let's say, with the German community. It's really everyone. See, it's the Filipinos. Morning. It's the Filipinos. It's morning. Hello.
I'm gonna count how many people told you good morning.
Yes,
There's at least
Gabi,
like
Gabi. Where's
10
she?
groups.
Gabi, there she is.
Oh, there's
Yay.
Gabi.
There's morning. Morning.
يا زلمة مجانين هدول والله العظيم في groups هون. It's so I've never seen it this crowded.
Yes.
No, today is insane.
So I called everyone that we're filming tomorrow. I don't know. This is it. You know, the season has started.
Yeah.
And the facilities are used so well
Yeah.
by so many people. Yeah, that's like Sheikh Zayed Road rush hour.
Yeah. But it's unbelievable. Like I always tell people, honestly, in my opinion,
Yes.
Dubai, specifically in the winter, is the best place on earth to be. The best place on earth.
Yeah.
It's because you have the perfect weather to do any outdoor activities or sit outside,
Yeah.
but also just enough sun to also enjoy the beach and just, you know,
Yeah, and the
Being
crowd
in
of
the
people,
water.
the mix of people. I think the diversity of so many different people being together.
yeah,
What the government has provided in terms of facilities, the safety. I think for me this was a big aspect. Having a daughter and my wife here
yeah,
to make sure that I feel they are well looked after.
yeah.
You okay?
And I mean, also there's like one misconception. I don't know, I thought I'd pick
Yes.
your brain on it. Is that like every time I talk to people and I meet like hundreds, you know, because of the podcast and other things that I attend. And a lot
Yes.
of people, especially the ones that are not living here,
Yes.
sitting there like, we feel like this city is a bit too artificial. We feel like it's too fake.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, honestly, it's what you make of it.
Yes. Yeah, and you
And-
know what? The UAE is now a bit more than 50 years young, and that's a young city. It's a new place. It has been built of all the learnings of other bigger cities. But yes, you have no Paris, or you have something which is hundreds of years old.
Yeah.
But I think you have to completely respect what has been built and how they preserve the culture
Yeah.
of the souks and of all of this. But yes, the cities in Europe. Morning, guys.
We keep getting distracted
Yeah,
by
the
the amount
cities-
of bikers that are on Maidan track. It's unbelievable.
I think what
Yeah.
they have created here in such a short period of time is nothing short of being absolutely amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yes, people, and there's different things in life. You know, I think we have to appreciate there's different things and there's diversity. So some cities are 500 years old, some of the places are 50 years old, and we need to just appreciate the effort people do and put in every day. I think that's good. That's what we all should appreciate. Yeah, the diversity in each human being and in each different city and in each different country and in different cultures. I learned this a lot here being in the UAE and meeting and interacting with different cultures. They have always, all of them have something to offer. All of them have learnings to offer for each and every one of us. And I would have never been exposed to so many different ideas and lifestyles if I would have stayed in Germany. So I'm really appreciative about this experience I got when moving here.
Yeah, and I mean, like, if you, the city has so much to offer, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's, if you think about it, if you want, like, it has a combination of everything, and even people that are like into the outdoors, let's say, there is just so much to do here.
Yeah.
So much, whether it's cycling or mountain biking or
Yeah.
hiking or I don't know, kite surfing or mountain climbing, or like, I know people that literally do all types of things
Yeah.
all the time here.
Yeah.
There is no limit.
Yes. No, absolutely. Remember, we have Mashrif, when you speak cycling, we have Mashrif Park where you can go ride your mountain bike, which is close to the city.
Yeah.
And that has 70,000 trees. It's
Yeah.
really unbelievable. You go there and you feel like you're in a different place. You're completely in a forest,
Yeah.
and you can ride your bike with the family. You have more challenging trails. You go to Hatta
Yeah.
Mountains, Elaine with Jebel Hafid, Jebel Jais, Ras Al Khaimah.
Yeah.
There's some beautiful, and it's different. You know, it's not. It doesn't look like Switzerland, and it doesn't look like other places in
It
the world.
has
But
its own.
has its own charm.
Yeah.
And the desert. You know, when I've seen a lot of cycling professionals coming to the UAE for the UAE tour, and they have been riding all around the world.
Yeah.
But when they see Al Qudra, the desert track, the cameras are out, and they can't believe.
Yeah.
And taking pictures of Burj Khalifa,
Yeah.
of the desert, of the Oryx,
Yeah.
and they're completely amazed what is there. So I think, again, appreciate diversity, appreciate things which are different,
Yeah.
appreciate what you have. I think that's a good space to start.
Don't you think
for happiness.
it's quite remarkable how some people actually find beauty in the desert?
Yes.
Like even Al Qudra, I
Yeah.
noticed that a lot of cyclists go there, and one cyclist told me this. He's like, just the peace and the
Yes.
serenity
Yes,
and the
absolutely.
simplicity. It's very calming to the eyes. It's very calming to the brain.
Yes. And
There
it's
is
much
something-
better when people come from Europe, yeah, when they come back from Europe,
Yeah.
and they have seen how the roads are in Italy and France and Germany,
Yeah.
where the roads are so busy. And then they say, oh, and now I really appreciate Al Qudra, because I thought that cycling is so much easier in other countries. But then you see that the peace and quiet, you couldn't do what we do now. You couldn't do this anywhere in Europe because you don't have cycle tracks
Yeah.
like this where you find an environment like this. And especially, maybe you have a few places where you have shorter cycle routes, but nothing like Al Qudra, 200 plus kilometer, Al Watba. There's so many places.
Wait, Al Qudra is 200 kilometers?
If you take everything together,
Wow.
you take all the options. I mean, the basic loop is 50. You go with the stick, it's 80. You have extensions of 20 and 40.
And they're all continuous.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And sometimes you do them clockwise. You do them anti-clockwise. And there's so many things coming up in the next couple of years.
Yeah.
We know about plans of the government and have been consulted of what's coming, and we're helping them to really, for cycling. Abu Dhabi is UCI city,
Yeah.
cycling city, and
Nice.
cycling is the situation with Tadej Pogacar representing with the team UAE Emirates the country so well, winning Giro d'Italia, winning Tour de France. We have the World Championship coming up next weekend, so let's see how he's gonna
World Championship here.
in Switzerland,
Oh, Switzerland, sorry.
Zurich.
Okay,
But we're gonna have a velodrome where we're gonna have World Championships in Abu Dhabi.
nice.
So there's so many things on the cycling front. There's so many things happening, which again was leading us as Wolfi's to invest into a cycling company,
Yeah.
which I should say an events company,
Yeah.
which organizes events, Gulf Multisports,
Nice.
which organizes or supports Abu Dhabi Marathon, the ladies run in Yas World,
Yeah.
Ferrari World, Spinny's 92, in a supporting function, but helping people to to have an aim, to
That's amazing.
have sports with like-minded people. We have the Wolfi Cycling Academy, which is a big project for us, to learn children at a young age how to ride
Yeah.
and being introduced to cycling. And I think this is the legacy I want to leave behind, to say, hey,
Yeah.
we reach every day a couple of people, introduce them to the sport, and make sure they live a healthy, happy, mentally strong and physically strong life.
Yeah. And I mean, speaking of like cycling tracks
Morning.
and all the opportunities that like Dubai has to offer, would you say, I mean, obviously this track is one of your favorites, but is this why you picked to live in Maidan in District 1? Is
Yes.
It's mainly for the track.
Yes, and as well the location. I mean, we are close to downtown.
Yeah.
We're close to Dubai Mall. We're close to the airport. We're close to work. So
Yeah.
all of these things really ticked a lot of boxes. The location is beautiful. We have a nice place to stay, and yeah, it was for sure the reason. Having ticked all these boxes, it was the perfect location for us.
Nice. And which projects, like if you can disclose, are the most exciting in terms of tracks that are coming up? Because now in Dubai you've got mainly Maidan and you've got Al Qudra. I would say those are the two largest ones, right?
I think connectivity is a key now. You know, now we have cycle tracks all over the country,
Yeah.
and projects like they did in Sharjah, where they have the Maliha track, and we have something in Abu Dhabi, we have something in Dubai, Saadiyat Island,
Yeah.
and all these tracks we need to see what's the possibility to connect. Connect obviously the capital Abu Dhabi with Dubai, connect Maidan to Al Qudra, which is not far off, and then make it easy for people to come from different communities and see how you create connectivity between these locations so that people can start.
But would you
From-
say it's actually feasible? Like, would you say people would benefit from this connectivity, having all these? Because I mean, you're talking like crazy distances. Would people actually go ahead and use it?
You know, I mean, we see a lot of people now doing rides of 60, 80, 100 kilometer on the weekends.
Yeah.
But yes, I think the first thing is obviously connectivity to the places, to the cycle tracks existing, and then building like 7, 8, 9, 10 kilometer tracks in different parts of the city,
Yeah.
where people can do something like here Maidan, where they can meet and ride together. Lots of things are coming. Yeah,
Nice.
we've seen. It is obviously a big job, and RTA and the authorities all around the UAE doing a great job. But it's it's obviously not easy to deal with the demand
Obviously,
we have for
because
cars and roads.
planning, urban planning.
Yes, it's a big thing.
It is a very big thing. You know, it's not easy. Trust me. I mean, it's authorities have to coordinate with like a million other entities and
Yes.
places to sort of get.
But you see how well used they are. You see now, I think this is actually a good time to see how good these things are are in use.
You know what's so
Even-
crazy
Yeah.
is that everyone recognizes you from the
you know
back.
what, I have to
From
say,
the
normally-
back. Like that's the thing. Like it's not. I mean, it's one thing that everybody recognizes you. It's another thing that they recognize you from the back. It looks like you have a very recognizable backside.
I have, yeah. That's what my wife said.
Oh my God! I mean, after cycling for so
Can
many
we do
years,
this
you
as a
must have
takeout?
like the perfect toned backside.
Yes. I want to have this as a takeout when we introduce the podcast, talking about Wolfi's very recognizable backside.
Yeah, I mean, it's
I think that's a
unbelievable.
statement.
Like every single person that passed by you recognize you from the back. I
Yes.
don't even recognize people from the front sometimes, and I'm like, I know I met you somewhere, but I forgot. He's like,
No,
bro,
I have a reason for it. You know what I mean? What is it what you see from a leader the most?
The backside.
the backside, while he's leading the front. And that's why they all know me, because I'm sitting in the front. They all know, and now they say, oh, that is interesting.
That's true. So I want to actually talk about that. Like,
Yes.
is it really the drafting? Is it really as important and as intense as people make it? Like, can you really lose the peloton if you don't stay within the?
Yes, absolutely. Within seconds, you're out.
You're out.
So you push, and it's at the speed people are doing here of the 30, 40, 50 kilometers an hour.
Yeah.
It's a saving of about 30 to 40% of your energy.
30 to 40% of energy.
Yes, because you will see the faster we go, it's exponentially growing in terms of resistance. It's not the
Yeah.
same from 20 to 30.
Yeah.
The resistance is not growing. So the wind resistance is growing.
Yeah.
Yeah, not in a straight line. And so it's super important. And that's why, again, teamwork comes in cycling more than maybe in other sports where you run. You don't run as fast, and you don't maybe have the benefit of drafting as much. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's still important, but not as important as it is on cycling. So you really, if you want to win a race, that's why some people don't understand the team behind Tadej Pogačar and the team UAE Emirates, how important this really is for the success of to win a race. Yeah, and here as well, when we ride together, you normally stay in the front for a couple of minutes, couple of seconds, depending the speed, and then you rotate, and everybody puts his share in if they can, and everybody benefits and travels faster.
Yeah.
When they, I mean, if one person would stay in the front until they're tired, and then the next person would go to the front, you might lose the person. But if everybody puts a controlled amount of effort in the group, you travel way faster.
Yeah.
If a group of 6 or 7, 8 people puts in 30 seconds, 1 minute efforts, they can travel way faster than one rider.
And
on
again,
its
it's a good metaphor to like as to how people should work
Teamwork.
together. Yeah, teamwork. Because if you come up short, you may not be able to stay with the herd, and then you
Yes.
all have to work together
Yes.
so that the people in the front are leading the way for the people in the back, right?
Yes, yes.
So,
And some days maybe you don't feel as well, you maybe didn't sleep as well,
yeah.
and the group knows you that you're normally a hard worker or a contributor. I think they will give you some slack,
Yeah.
but if you sit in the back, it's quite obvious you're not doing your share, and then maybe they will call you out and say, hey, come on, do some work, and you will learn when you go to the front and you do this once in a while.
Yeah.
You get stronger, and again, that's the principle of overload. You overload a bit,
Yeah.
controlled. Next time you do, instead of 30 seconds, you do 40, 45 seconds. And so you build your stamina, just like in life.
That's true. It's very true. And I mean, have you always? How long have you been cycling for?
I mean, I started working with bikes when I was 16,
16. Wow.
and
So this was just like, you're talking like 80s now, right?
yeah, 86.
86.
I'm
so-
born 1970, and then 86, 87. I
Wait,
worked in a
you're
hotel.
70?
87, yeah, 1987, 1970.
No,
I'm
but
born.
how old are you?
53,
53. Okay.
yes. And
But you do not look 53. for
thank
sure.
you. Thank you. No, I'm
I
trying.
would say at most like 42, 43.
Thank you.
So I think the cycling
Keeps you fresh.
keeps you fresh, keeps
Yeah.
you 10 years younger.
Yeah, and I think this is something as well very important,
Yeah.
that I wanna age
Graceful.
gracefully and healthy.
Yeah.
Morning. Well done. I want to see as much and want to stay here on Earth as long as
Yeah.
possible in a good
But
way.
that's my question to you. You wanna live as long as possible, but when you do, and may God give you all the years to come, are there any specific goals that you feel like you haven't achieved that you want to achieve? Hence, why you want to prolong your life as much as possible, or do you feel like you're satisfied where you are right now?
I'm very satisfied.
Not
I feel I'm
very.
very satisfied.
Very satisfied.
Very
okay.
satisfied. I feel I have now in my 50s. I'm in a good place, and I said to my team the other day, I said, listen, my intentions for the business, my intentions for the community, for all the work I'm doing are very pure, because I kind of found that very clear focus on what I feel is good.
Yeah.
And I've done it so many years, helping my team to get better, getting more people into the sport. And I mean, if you see what we've seen now, that so many people are in cycling, then you know my life has been purposeful.
Yeah.
And I want to do more of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hence the investment into Gulf Multisports as an event company.
Yeah.
Hence the cycling academy, Wolfi Cycling Academy, the high performance center, getting the community together and being known as somebody who connected people,
Yeah.
connected the dots, connected the cycle tracks, sort of helped
Yeah.
to do that, bring some ideas, bring events. That's
Do you
fantastic.
think Dubai really has the potential to make it on the world scene in terms of cycling? Do you
see-
feel like they can really get there?
They are for sure. With the team UE Emirates, we're leading the world ranking. We've
Nice.
been the best team of the season last year. This year, it's unbelievable. The season with being winning the Giro Italia, which is the Tour of Italy, which is similar to the Tour de France, but just happening in Italy. Then the Tour de France, they won the Tour de France.
Yeah.
So, Gabi, and this is fantastic. And people really recognize and see cycling, and the UE is now really well represented. And I think the perception as well, what
Yeah.
the UE, besides other very valuable things, stands for is the team, for men and for ladies. Team ADQ is doing an amazing job representing equality amongst men and women. I think that's as well something which is sometimes maybe not seen in the rest of the world.
Yeah.
But they're having big ambitions. And you see the team we just saw now with the girls, that's specific cycling teams or the cycling groups for women, which is fantastic.
And I mean, do you feel like the infrastructure here really helped in pushing this team up the ranks?
Yes, they do mean the teams, and maybe that's a little challenging because most of the cycling season is happening when it becomes quite hot. So the main top races in Europe are in the summer, which is difficult here. But then again, they are around the world. They have been happening over 100 years around the world, and then having the UE Tour early in the season, just after the riders come from Australia and prepare for the season. Morning. They enjoy being here, to have the first kilometers in the sun, which is really nice. And they really like to come here to do some fast stages on the flat, face some of the wind, see the challenges of Jebel Afid, Jebel Jais. And it's always a very exciting seven-day race, which really put the UE. Before it was a Dubai tour, then there was Abu Dhabi tour.
Yeah.
One was at the beginning of the year, one was at the end of the year. And then the great idea of combining these two tours to show the UE Tour, 7 days, 7 Emirates. I think really fantastic that they got that spot and represent. And you know, it's a fantastic way. Watching a cycling race in TV or is showcasing a country at a very special. I mean, from the helicopter to see the beauty, the landscaping, the desert, the mountain formations, the landscaping and the urban planning which has been done. We normally don't recognize this, but if you look at it from a helicopter view, it's fantastic. And a lot of people, I think, watching races around the world, including Dubai or the UE Tour, for these views. The racing is one thing, but then you see that you see the mountains, and you see France or Italy or Spain, and you see how beautiful the country is. For hours and hours, you don't get any other sport. If you think of football or sports like this, you see a stadium, but you wouldn't know where you are in the world, if you're in New York or in Paris or wherever. But I think if you have a cycling event, it's fantastic advertising for the UE and the beauty.
It is. And I mean, speaking of events and sponsoring events, do you feel like triathlons is maybe something that you start getting into?
Yes, we sell already obviously the bikes, and we organizing with Gulf Multisports, we're organizing the events.
Yeah.
And helping to organize the events like T100 or the challenge on Sebanyas Island coming next year. So there's some fantastic events. Trias is if you're into Olympic distance triathlon and shorter distances, then the event on Trias is amazing. This is on the Formula One track in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah.
And you swim, run and cycle on and around the track in the marina around the track, which is really, really cool. So even for people from overseas to come here to enjoy this event is fantastic.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, it's I did a few triathlons here. It's honestly a lot of fun. And the nice thing about it, it's a lot easier to train for than Ironman.
Yes.
Because Ironman requires a lot of time and effort.
Yes.
Which sometimes is a bit hard to have when you're working full time and
yes.
you got other responsibilities.
And it gets the crowds together, gets the swimmers together,
Yeah.
and interacting with the cyclists and the triathletes and the runners, and everybody gets together. They have a great time. You can do it in teams, you can do it on your own.
So for example, just to give an idea for the people watching, now we've been cycling for about, what, half an hour?
Yes.
How many kilometers did we finish?
I think a loop is 9 kilometers.
Okay.
So maybe we do about 15 to 20 in
not
half
bad
an
at all.
hour. Yeah.
And how many calories do you burn at least?
It depends a bit on the effort. And you can
Like, let's say if you're doing 25 kilometers an hour.
600, depends a bit about how you're a bit of a bigger guy and you have more wind resistance and overall more body,
Yeah.
more muscle, more body mass.
Yeah.
Then you will burn a bit more, but I would say, yeah, 600 to 800 per hour.
Yeah. What would you say is like the ideal diet for a cyclist?
I don't know, it depends on the discipline. It's when you go in the mountains, the riders are very thin and very slim because obviously every kilo of weight is challenging when you have to carry it around. Morning.
But let's say like just normal, flat, road cycling, road biking.
Most of them are slim, they have big legs and they have rather smaller upper bodies, but some of them in the riding the races on the flat, the weight is not as important and it's rather about power. Or you see people on the track, on the velodrome when they're sprinting. These guys are massive, they look rather like bodybuilders sometimes.
Yeah.
They have big legs, but they only cycle maybe for 400 meters, 200 meters, but full flat out effort.
And so basically you guys, your showroom is open 7
days a week, yes.
Nice.
Yes. Remember when we came, it was Friday, was our day off.
Yeah.
But I think when the weekend changed, we adapted and we wanted to provide the service for 7 days a week.
Nice.
Just make sure people are covered when they have a flat tire or they need our help,
Yeah.
that we're there.
That's good. So I think what we'll do is maybe this will be the last lap,
Yes.
and then we'll go
You
back.
want to have a coffee in the?
Yeah, we could.
When we go.
I
and
told the
then-
videographer to be at the showroom at 9.
Okay.
So if we
No, I
can,
think we should make it.
I don't think there should be an issue with time,
No.
right?
No. I haven't started, but I don't think we have been. Maybe now an hour. So we should be now 7:30 or 7:20.
It's 7:15.
Okay, good.
I'm enjoying this. Maybe I should make this on a regular basis.
A regular, see?
Like
And you know, it's interesting.
no,
Listen,
on a
it's-
regular basis, like put in the camera and just have conversations. And
Yes.
pick your brain on different things.
Yes.
I mean, you've been doing business for a long time.
Yes. You
There's
see,
so
some
much
people
you
might be out of breath.
No, not me, man.
Yes. Maybe the people you interview.
Yeah, probably.
No, but you know what it is? You get on the bike, and it's maybe the first moments you have to, yeah, I don't want to say push yourself, but once you hear, your body tells you, listen, this is good.
Yeah, exactly.
Give me more of
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
And make me feel exercising, make me feel active.
That's true.
And this feeling of activity is special.
That's very true.
You know, and it's a good thing as well. You can be with yourself. You can just ride,
Yeah.
feel your body, go through your mind.
The one thing, the only sport that I get this feeling from is swimming.
Swimming, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
I would
not
say
much,
swimming and cycling.
not much talking going on.
Yeah.
Good morning. How are you doing?
How are you?
Good to see you.
Are you good?
Very good. See, he wonders why people recognize me. And he said, maybe I have such a impressive backside that people recognize me even from behind. Yes. You're good? It's good to see you. There's your group. Yes. Yalla, I have you on camera. Show us a sprint.
What would you say is the best road bike for flat, everyday rides?
I mean, we take measurements of people when they come to the store.
Yeah.
We take your bone structure. We ask you questions about, what you're planning to do. Are you more into, let's say, leisure riding, riding on the beach, riding with your family, or are you rather into sports, triathlon, climbing, flat riding? And so there's different bikes. That's why we work with so many different brands. We represent over 65 brands
Yeah.
in the UAE, many different cycling brands. I'm riding a Colnago today from Italy, a really brand with a lot of heritage. That makes you feel good. That's the bike Tadej Pogačar was using to win his first Tour de France. So I think there's a lot of emotional value and sentimental value on it. It's a team color.
Yeah.
But I think it depends really. And you can get a good bike to start exercising for 3,000-4,000 dirhams.
yeah.
And when you really feel this is the sport you want to continue doing, then you can obviously spend 50,000-60,000 dirhams as well. But you get good, very, very good equipment for, I would say, 20,000-30,000 dirhams.
Yeah.
Very competitive equipment here for the groups. And you see, a lot of it is group riding, and you want to have a good bike so that you're able of keeping up with the group. And riding with the group, I think, is kind of a lot of fun. And if you feel from your equipment it's maybe difficult to do so, it's difficult. And we have as well, when people buy a bike from us, they can trade it in.
Yeah.
So after some time, and the bike is still in good condition, we can take it back. You trade the bike in, and you get an upgraded version.
Nice. Yeah, man, this is lovely. You know, they say in the morning,
Yes,
if you just get your 10-15 minutes
yes,
of sun,
yes.
especially the morning sun, it's enough to give you
Enough vitamin D.
exactly to
And
keep
some-
you going.
Yes.
That's all you need. And it's like necessary.
Yes.
So now we are at, so this is Al Khail Road, right?
Yes, correct. And then there's a bridge. They built a bridge over Al Khail Road, which we'll see now, where you can safely cross over. And from there you're at the canal.
Yeah.
And from the canal you would reach the beach or the flamingos on the other side,
Yeah.
or D3 Design District. So there's lots of options from there. And once you're on the beach, you go all the way to Burj Al Arab, all the way to even to the Ferris wheel, to Blue Water, the marina. But the beach track is fantastic.
Yeah. Actually, sometimes I just enjoy going to the beach, like
Yes,
normal beach, kite beach, and just
Yes.
riding these beach bicycles, just the
Yes.
normal beach bicycles. It's just a lot of enjoyment in that, to be honest.
people
That
coming
one,
over.
yes.
People use it for skating. Morning, guys. How are you? Well done. Keep it up. You know, I'm very grateful for these moments when I'm riding and I'm seeing so many people we have
Yeah.
influenced or opened the doors,
Yeah.
created some opportunity for them to get into
sure.
the sport and just feel like what we feel now. I
Exactly.
think it's just a fantastic way to start the day, and I think it's good for your mind, for your body.
100%.
I love it. And I wish everyone finds his purpose. Yeah, and I really now, obviously, with being in my 50s and in my later part of my life,
Yeah.
I think it's nice if you look back and you think, hey, I really did something which had an effect.
And you feel like you found your purpose?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
I think I found it many years ago, but it
At
changes a
what
little
age,
bit.
what age do you feel like, okay, you know what, this is what
In my 40s, maybe you really find.
I think
remember-
that's the time where you reach your peak wisdom as a man.
Yes, yes.
I feel.
And the focus changes. You know,
Yeah.
when you're from 10 to 20, you're in school, you're learning
Yeah.
stuff. 20 to 30, it's as well you're finding phase. Then 30 to 40, I had to push really hard to make this business kind of successful and fighting for every opportunity. And then 40, you feel like, okay, you're hopefully at the point where you have achieved some things, and you feel like, okay, you've done the right preparation.
Yeah.
And now with 50, it's a bit calmer. You know more. You know how your body works, how your mind works, what's good for you. You find some friends. You can hopefully look back at some achievements, and all of these points together.
You feel like you started your business at the right age?
Ah, yes, definitely. You may start early and try different things, and I wasn't aware when I was 16 that this would lead to this.
Yeah.
But morning. But you know, you never know where life takes you. You just have to go and try and see. And once you're on it, you put 100% effort in the direction you're going, and then hopefully this will stick. But maybe stick for it for some time and see if it makes you feel good.
Yeah. I agree.
It's difficult for the young generation with so many options, so many temptations. I didn't have so many options.
Especially if you don't have discipline and
Yes.
if you don't have guidance,
Yeah.
you could be very lost. We're gonna go for a coffee,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So
We go off here.
take a right here.
So now we're turning off the track.
It's amazing. You see how fast an hour passes by?
Yeah. Yeah. This is 2 ways now. Yeah, it's all super safe. You have a tunnel under the road.
Yeah. This Dubai ride thing
Yeah.
is literally the best thing I've ever seen. Because you come, you finish, you cycle,
Yes.
you shower,
Yes.
you eat, you drink, all in the same place.
Yes.
And I think everybody does this before they go to work.
Yes.
What would you say was the most memorable ride that you've had?
Riding with His Highness Sheikh Mohamed bin Rashed,
Ah,
Yas Marina Circuit.
nice.
You know, and obviously a moment where you're quite nervous. Yeah,
Yeah.
we prepared all the bikes,
Yeah,
and then when His Highness arrived, it was, immediately you could feel the presence. You can feel he's there, even you don't see him,
yeah.
but you feel it. Something is happening. and then
I didn't know he's big on cycling.
yeah, no, he loves cycling, and you know, and then being there, very nice, very. It's special, you know. I mean, I think they really love as well what they're doing. They have this purpose. They love the country. They love the people. Such a loved leader of the nation, and
Yeah.
and then riding alongside, like we're riding now,
Yeah,
and having a conversation.
that's amazing. What do you
And-
guys talk about?
But cycling. You know, I mean, I feel most comfortable then about obviously the opportunity that people can use
Yeah,
the Yas Marina circuit. It was on the Formula One track, and how many people are there. And
nice.
I mean, first of all, I said thank you so much for all the opportunity. And the same when we met His Highness Sheikh Mohammed. I met him a couple of weeks ago. It was not on the bike. It was in a setting at Iftar, and
Yeah,
he called me when he saw me. and we said hello, and he said, "Hey, bicycle man." And I thought it was so interesting that.
Wait, so Sheikh Mohamed bin Rashed
Yeah,
saw you at
Yes.
at the Ramadan dinner,
Yes.
and then Ramadan iftar, sorry, or
Yes,
suhoor.
iftar dinner, yes.
And he told you, "Hey, bicycle man."
Yes, yes. And I thought, now by official royal decree, I'm the bicycle man.
That's amazing.
We go
And
right
what was the first question that Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed asked you when you rode together at Yas?
You know, I mean, kind of, I forgot a lot of things we were talking about. It was more like the moment was so overwhelming
Yeah.
that we started talking, and I think I was
It was just
talking,
natural, yeah.
out of my natural instinct of being a bit nervous. I think I said, "It's so amazing to meet you. Thank you so much, and thank you for all the opportunity we've been given, and what an amazing facility." And yeah, I think he was just enjoying it the moment, and I was talking, and maybe maybe ruined this moment a bit. Yeah, nobody was fantastic. Yeah,
Nice. Love that. Good. That was a good ride.
thank you.
Thank you.